Okay students, today we are going to continue the genetics chapter of ICSE class 10 biology. This is the part 4 of this chapter. If you haven't watched previous parts, then you can get the video link in the description below and you can watch it. Okay, so let's start. So in this part we will study about the Mendel's experiment on inheritance. So we already know Gregor John Mendel is the father of genetics. So why he is called the father of genetics? Because all the basic principles of genetics were discovered by him. Like we saw that genes exist in pairs, okay, and he also gave us the laws of inheritance, which we will see in the next part. So how did he discover the basic principles of genetics? He discovered this by conducting experiments on a plant which is the garden pea, okay, or the pea plant you can say. So the scientific name of this plant is Pisum sativum. You need to remember this. So what was the reason for choosing the pea plant? Okay, what were the reasons? You need to remember this. Like in case of pea plant, if you will see, there are many varieties, okay, and all the varieties are available in alternative forms. Now what is meant by alternative forms? We saw that for a gene there are two alternative forms, like dominant and recessive allele. So in case of pea plant also, for each character there is an alternative form. Like a pea plant containing rounded seed, there is also a pea plant containing wrinkled seed, okay. So there are different characters and each character has an alternative forms. Next is both self-pollination and cross-pollination could be done, okay, means generally the pea plant is self-pollinated, but you can also do the cross-pollination artificially, okay. Next is varieties were available in pure forms, like some characters, or you can say characters were present in the pure forms. Pure forms means the genes were homozygous, okay, the pair of genes were similar. That's why we call it as pure form. And the last is short life cycle, okay. The pea plant is having a very short life cycle, so you can get several generations in a single year. So these were the reasons for choosing pea plant. So there are certain characters which we will see of the pea plant and their dominant and recessive forms. Like for flower color, in case of pea plant, for if the dominant gene is present, or you can say dominant allele is present, then the flower color will be purple, and for recessive it will be white. For seed color, the dominant will be yellow, recessive will be green. So these are certain characters and their dominant and recessive forms. You can pause the video and you can watch it. Next which we will see is the monohybrid and the dihybrid cross. So okay, so this is the most important thing. Monohybrid cross is a cross between the parent when you are considering only one character. Is when you want to find the possibilities of the gene which will be present in the offspring of a single character, then that cross is known as monohybrid cross. Like we are taking a parent containing capital T, capital T. Here capital T is responsible for the height of a plant, okay. So if this is the pure tall and this is not a pure tall, it is a heterozygous dominant, so both of these are tall, and here we are taking only a character responsible for the height of the plant. No other character is taken into consideration. That's why we are calling it as monohybrid cross. Next is dihybrid cross. Dihybrid cross means when you are taking two characters into consideration. Like here we are taking the character like height and another character like the seed color, okay. So both of these are, means this one is a pure tall and yellow colored seed, and this is tall and yellow colored seed, okay. Small y is responsible for the it is the recessive allele which is responsible for the green color. So if both the allele are present are small, then the seed color will be green, because we saw that for recessive the seed color is green and for dominant the seed color is yellow. So here we are taking two characters. So whenever we are taking two characters into consideration and we want to find out the possibilities in an offspring, then that particular cross is called the dihybrid cross. Okay, so first we will take an example of a monohybrid cross. So we will take the pure forms of a character. Suppose we are taking a plant which is pure tall and we are crossing it with a plant which is a dwarf. Okay, for pure tall the genes will be capital T and capital T, and for dwarf it will be small t and small t. Okay, now if we will cross it, here we will write capital T, here it will be small t, small t. So what are the possibilities? Capital T small t, capital T small t, capital T small t and capital T small t. So there is only one possibility. Okay, so the first result which we are getting after crossing the pure form of the parent, that result is known as F1 generation. Okay, we call this as F1 generation. F1 generation is also called the first filial generation. Okay, now if we will cross the offspring of F1 generation with itself, then we will call it as selfing. So what we will do, we will cross the offspring of F1 generation with itself. So it will be capital T small t cross with capital T small t. Okay, both of them are tall. So here it will be, so what will be the gametes? Capital T, small t, capital T and small t. First it will be capital T, second it will be capital T small t, here it will be capital T small t, and here it will be small t. Okay, so the last one, here we will see that it is the dwarf, because both the genes are recessive, so it will be dwarf, and all the other are tall. Now this is the F2 generation. Okay, and here we have to find the phenotype and genotypic ratio of F2 generation. So what will be the genotypic ratio? Genotype, we already know the genetic makeup. So here we will see that capital T is tall and capital T and small t is tall, but in case of here the genes are homozygous, but here it is heterozygous dominant. So both have different genetic makeup. So what will be the ratio? The ratio will be 1:2:1. Why? Because homozygous dominant is 1, heterozygous dominant is 1, and homozygous recessive is 1. That's why the ratio is 1:2:1. Next, for phenotype, what we will see, phenotype is what? The physical appearance. So if we will look at the physical perspective, we will see that 3 of the offsprings are tall. Okay, like here it is also tall, it is also tall, and it is also tall. So it will be 3:1. Okay, because only one is dwarf and the 3 others are tall. So this is the genotypic and the phenotypic ratio of a monohybrid cross of F2 generation. Okay, this you need to remember. Next is example 2, which is the dihybrid cross. Here we are taking two characters, like round yellow, the seed is round and the color of the seed is yellow. Secondly, the seed is wrinkled and the color is green. So the genes will be capital R, capital Y, and here it will be smaller, small y. So there is only one possibility after a cross, that is capital R, smaller, capital Y and small y. This is the F1 generation. Now what we will do, we will cross it with itself, so that it will be here capital R smaller, capital Y small I crossed with capital R smaller, capital Y small I. Okay, so which is the round and yellow again, because the genes are dominant. So the what will be the gametes? Gametes will be, we will try to find out the gametes, which will be capital R, capital Y, again it will be capital R small y, small r capital Y and small r small y. Okay, similarly here it will be capital R, capital Y, capital R small y, small r capital Y, small r small y. Okay, now what will be the possibilities? Here it will be capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Again, in the same way, we will write all the genes of the offsprings here. Okay, so if we will look at here, we will see that to find out the genotypic, it is very complex because it will be very large. So we will only find out the phenotypic ratio, which will be 9:3:3:1. Okay, if you will look at here, according to the physical perspective, then it will be 9:3:3:1. Now how it is possible? There are total 9 round and yellow seeds, 3 round and green seeds, 3 wrinkled and yellow seeds, and 1 wrinkled and green seeds. Okay, if you will look here, so in that manner the phenotypic ratio will be 9:3:3:1. Okay, so this was the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross of F2 generation. So what is the conclusion? So if we will do the monohybrid cross, the ratio of F2 generation will be phenotypic 3:1, genotypic 1:2:1, and for dihybrid cross the phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. It will always be the same. Okay, but you need to take the pure forms of a character, and for genotypic ratio, the in case of dihybrid, it is very complex. Okay, which is not required. So that was it. In the next video, which is the last part of this chapter, we will start with Mendel's laws of inheritance, and also we will study about the mutation. Okay, so thank you for watching. We will meet in the next video.